The Great Chicago Fire by Austin Curran. In 1871, Chicago was a city ready to burn. The city had grown rapidly, and many of its 59,500 buildings were large and ornate. So the city had really grown, and the buildings were large and older. About two-thirds of these buildings were made entirely of wood. Most of the city streets and sidewalks were also made of wood, leaving the city vulnerable to fire. This word vulnerable meaning that it could happen really easily because everything is wood. The wooden city was especially endangered during the summer of 1871. A drought left the ground parched and the wells depleted. A drought is when there's not enough water, so there's no water at all. On the evening of October 8th, 1871, just after 9 o'clock, a fire broke out in or near a barn located on the property of Patrick and Catherine O'Leary at 13 DeKalvin Street. Legend has it that a family's cow knocked over a lantern and started the fire. Firefighters deemed the scenario unlikely, which means it probably couldn't happen, and years after the blaze, a local man admitted to knocking over the lighted lantern while running from an illegal poker game. So cops said it's probably not what happened, and a man way later said that he was running because illegal right means that you're not allowed to have the poker game. What is known is that the fire quickly raged out of control. The wooden structures and a steady wind provided the fire with enough fuel to spread the blaze towards the city center within minutes. The fire burned so hot that even the stone buildings could not escape its heat. After 2 days, rain began to fall. The rain, combined with blocks of unbuilt lots on the north side of the city, finally halted the deadly blaze. Halted means stopped. On the morning of October 10th, 1871, the fire died out, leaving devastation in its wake. Devastation meaning a lot of buildings were burned and people were killed. More than 300 people were killed, over 100,000 were homeless, and hundreds of millions of dollars worth of property were destroyed, including the entire business district. The fire was one of the most tragic events of the 19th century, and it led to many safety changes in the city's building code. Today, the Chicago Fire Academy stands on the exact site where Mr. and Mrs. O'Leary's barn once stood. It is there that the new firefighters are trained to prevent more tragedies in that great city.